In our hyper-connected world, where every click, purchase, and movement gets tracked, the idea of starting fresh with a clean slate sounds almost impossible. Your name is in databases. Your biometrics are stored in government systems. Your financial footprint follows you everywhere you go. But what if I told you there's still a legal way to almost start over? Not through shady underground networks or fake documents, but with legitimate government programs that most people don't even realize exist. Most second passport programs today are just expensive status symbols that don't offer the privacy they claim. However, there's one country out there offering something genuinely different, a route that could be your ticket to a real fresh start. Welcome back to the Liberty Mundo channel, where we help high net worth individuals protect their assets, secure multiple citizenships, and legally minimize taxes. Contact us for personalized strategies. Let's be honest about what's really happening with citizenship by investment. Over the years, these programs have been marketed as the ultimate way to escape oppressive governments and crushing tax systems. Salesmen promise you freedom and privacy with a new beginning in paradise. The reality is most programs are expensive illusions. Take the Caribbean passport programs, for example. Sure, countries like Dominica, St. Kitts, and St. Lucia will sell you citizenship at a price. But what their brochures don't tell you is that these nations are basically American colonies, and they directly share your information with the FBI, not just for criminals, but for everyone. If you think these passports will help you disappear, think again. They're more like honeypots, making you even more visible to the authorities. On top of that, these passports can be revoked at any moment, not just for crimes, but for suspicions. And a crime can mean whatever the issuing government decides. We've seen Russians and Belarusians lose Croatian and Maltese citizenship over sanctions, and Cyprus canceled dozens of citizenships. The uncomfortable truth is that every passport is, in a way, a slave card from the government in power. The only difference is that some give you more tools for banking, moving money, and doing business than others. Now let's talk about your original passport. Most advisors get this completely wrong. They'll tell you to renounce your citizenship, especially if you're American, to dodge global income taxes. But if you're truly wealthy, your income shouldn't even be in your own name. That's what corporations, trusts, and foundations are for. If you structure things properly, taxes on zero personal income are still zero. Why give up leverage you already have? Governments change, systems evolve, and your children may one day want to access those benefits. Even Roger Ver, the famous Bitcoin advocate, found that after giving up his U.S. passport, his Caribbean citizenship didn't protect him from U.S. pursuit. Here's the biggest flaw in most programs. Your original place of birth stays right on page 1 of the passport. From an identity standpoint, this makes them nearly useless. Imagine you have a St. Lucia passport but were born in New York. You hand it over at an airport, and instantly, authorities see the contradiction. The same problem pops up when you try opening bank accounts. If you walk into a bank with a Caribbean passport and an obviously non-Caribbean background, you'll get questions about why you bought the passport, and often your application will be rejected. It gets even harder in the era of biometrics, facial scans, fingerprints. You can't sneak through these systems by simply carrying a different passport. To really understand how to start fresh, let's look at history. During World War II, the Nazi rat lines allowed German officers to flee to South America under brand new identities. These weren't fake IDs. They were government-issued documents with new names, new birthplaces, and new identities, all fully integrated into national systems. How is this possible? Because these individuals were useful to their new countries, arriving as advisors, not just as refugees. What does that historical lesson mean for today? You need a country that's at least semi-independent, not a puppet of major powers. And you need to be useful to that country's interests. Today, that country is Turkey. Once a loyal NATO ally, Turkey has shifted to prioritize its own interests, which has made the West deeply uncomfortable. Financial pressure from the U.S. after a failed coup led Turkey to launch its citizenship-by-investment program, hoping to attract hard currency and stabilize the economy. Here's where Turkey stands out. Invest in Turkish real estate And you don't just get citizenship, you can legally change your name as part of the process. This isn't a loophole or something you need to hide. It's normal, even encouraged, based on centuries of Ottoman history, where Turkifying names was common to integrate the empire's incredible diversity. Traveling with a Turkish passport and a Turkish name, your story makes sense. Turkey's diversity means almost anyone could plausibly be Turkish. If anyone asks, you can say you adopted a Turkish name to avoid foreigner prices, a believable and relatable move for locals and officials alike. While the passport does still display your original place of birth, you're no longer automatically flagged as someone who purchased citizenship with sketchy motives. You have a backstory that stands up to scrutiny, whether at border control or in a bank manager's office. Turkey's borders and systems are also notably flexible, and there's a cultural attitude of finding a way around bureaucratic blocks, which many foreigners take advantage of. However, it's crucial to understand the limits. A Turkish passport, like any passport, won't make you immune to the digital surveillance grid. Biometrics, financial reporting, and international blacklists still exist. Think of a second passport as just one layer of protection. If you're serious about privacy, first move your assets into proper legal structures, like trusts or foundations. Then add the passport as an extra shield. Turkey is also not a tax haven. Taxes are relatively high, so only invest what you need to qualify. Always remember, whatever a government gives, it can also take away. So creating a new legal identity isn't just about buying a passport. It's about knowing how the system really works and using legitimate tools for privacy and freedom. Turkey's program offers a rare chance to write yourself a credible legal backstory, and that window is closing fast. As international pressure mounts, real privacy is becoming a rarity. If you're serious about starting fresh, the Turkish Citizenship-by-Investment program offers an opportunity that no Caribbean passport can touch. You'll have a believable backstory, a legal name change, and citizenship in an independent country. But remember, this should be part of a bigger privacy plan, with your assets protected and professionals guiding each step. If you want to reduce your taxes to single digits, make your assets impossible for anyone to touch, and gain more freedom with second citizenships, get in touch with Liberty Mundo and book a consultation call. We will help you develop a complete blueprint to organize your life to safeguard your wealth and your freedom. Follow the link in the description for more details. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.